Did you ever wonder why one of the world's biggest tech giants suddenly went quiet on its most famous living room device? The Apple TV has been the gold standard for premium streaming for years, but lately, the silence from Cupertino has been deafening. While competitors like Roku, Amazon, and Google are flooding the market with cheap sticks and updated boxes, Apple has stayed on the sidelines. Fans and analysts have been scratching their heads, asking why the next generation is nowhere to be found. Well, the wait is finally over, and the reason for the delay is much bigger than a simple supply chain issue or a missed deadline. Apple is not just making a new streaming box. They're preparing a massive takeover of your living room that will change how you play, watch, and live. Apple does not delay products by accident. When a release date slips, there is always a deep strategic reason behind it. Sometimes that reason is a lack of parts, and sometimes it is a software bug that needs fixing. But in the case of the Apple TV 2026, the delay happened because Apple realized their original idea simply wasn't big enough. At first, this device was supposed to be a very simple update. We were expecting a slightly faster chip, some small refinements to the remote, and a few minor software tweaks. It was going to be business as usual. However, something shifted inside the walls of Apple Park. The leadership realized that the living room had suddenly become the most important battlefield in tech again. For too many years, the Apple TV felt like a side project or a hobby. It was a polished and smooth device, but it didn't lead the conversation. The market has changed rapidly. Streaming devices have become incredibly cheap and disposable. You can find Fire TV sticks at every checkout counter, and Google TV is now built into almost every budget television. Roku has dominated the market by focusing on simplicity and low prices. Meanwhile, the Apple TV stayed premium and expensive. But Apple eventually realized that being premium was no longer enough to win. People didn't just want a slightly better picture. They wanted more utility. They wanted intelligence, high-end gaming, and a system that never buffers. They wanted one single box that could handle every single task in the home. Apple saw this shift and decided to stop. Instead of rushing out a boring upgrade that would be forgotten in a month, they delayed the project to rethink the entire product from the ground up. This is why the Apple TV 2026 is such a big deal. This is not a routine refresh or a minor update. This is a total reset of the platform. Apple is no longer treating this box as just a way to watch Netflix. They are turning it into a massive platform for entertainment, professional-grade gaming, advanced artificial intelligence, and the ultimate smart home hub. They waited because they wanted to get every single detail right. Every rumor and leak now points to one undeniable fact. The Apple TV 2026 will be the most powerful device Apple has ever placed under a television. It is designed to be the brain of your home for the next decade. At the very center of this massive change is the processor. Apple is reportedly bringing the A17 Pro chip to the Apple TV. To understand why this matters, you have to realize that the A17 Pro is not a streaming chip. It wasn't designed just to play 4K video. It is a console-class processor. This is the same chip that already runs high-end AAA games on the iPhone 15 Pro. It handles advanced AI tasks with ease and delivers graphics that look like they belong on a high-end desktop computer. By putting this chip inside the Apple TV, Apple is making a huge statement. They're saying this device is no longer passive. It is active, powerful, and incredibly capable. You don't need this much power just to watch a movie, but Apple is thinking about what comes next. With the power of the A17 Pro, the Apple TV is no longer limited by performance bottlenecks. Navigation becomes instant, and menus move at the speed of thought. Apps launch without a second of delay, and animations stay fluid no matter how much you push the system. But speed is just the beginning. The real reason for this power is to unlock real gaming. We aren't talking about casual mobile games or simple distractions. We're talking about the kind of games that normally require a $500 console. Apple has already been testing this path by bringing games like Resident Evil, Death Stranding, and Assassin's Creed to their silicon. These weren't just experiments. They were a roadmap for the Apple TV 2026. With this new hardware, the Apple TV can run these massive games comfortably with stable frame rates and high-quality graphics. Apple isn't necessarily trying to kill off the PlayStation for hardcore gamers, but they're trying to remove the need for a second device for everyone else. They want to offer one box, one controller, and one ecosystem. This makes Apple Arcade much more valuable. When developers see that the hardware is no longer a limitation, they will start bringing their biggest titles to the platform. Suddenly, the Apple TV becomes a casual console for millions of families and students who never planned on buying a dedicated gaming machine. This is exactly how Apple enters a market. They move quietly and slowly until they're suddenly everywhere. Gaming is a huge part of the story, but the other half is intelligence. Apple Intelligence is finally coming to the living room, and it will change how you interact with your TV forever. Right now, most smart TVs are actually quite frustrating. They're cluttered with ads and push content that you never asked for. Apple is moving in the completely opposite direction. Using the neural engine inside the A17 Pro, the Apple TV becomes context-aware. It won't just give you a list of recommendations. It will actually understand what you like. It learns based on what you actually finish watching, what you return to, and what you abandon. It becomes a personal assistant that is accurate rather than invasive. Privacy is a huge part of this AI push. Because Apple does most of the processing on the device itself, your viewing habits stay private. Other platforms are built to extract your data and sell it to advertisers, but Apple builds for the user experience. This difference becomes very obvious when you use the device daily. Even Siri is getting a massive upgrade. Voice control will finally stop feeling robotic. You won't have to memorize specific commands or phrases. You could just speak naturally, and the TV will understand what you want. This is another reason for the delay. Apple didn't want to release a half-baked smart TV. They wanted Siri and the AI features to be fully mature and ready for prime time. The delay also allowed Apple to work on its own connectivity hardware. Reports suggest Apple is replacing third-party Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chips with their own custom designs. This is a massive move that gives them total control over performance and latency. When you're streaming high bitrate video or playing fast-paced games, stability is everything. A custom connectivity chip means that buffering becomes a thing of the past. Controllers will feel more responsive, AirPods will connect instantly, and AirPlay will finally be flawless. These might seem like small details, but they're the things that define the daily experience. Apple knows that a device built for 2026 needs to last for many years, so they are over-engineering the hardware now. Finally, there is the issue of price. Apple knows the Apple TV has traditionally been seen as too expensive. To fix this, rumors suggest they are working on a lower entry price to get the device into more homes. This isn't about charity, it's about expansion. They want the Apple TV to be the gateway to their entire ecosystem of services and subscriptions. By combining more power, better intelligence, and a lower price, Apple is creating a product that is dangerous for the competition. They are trying to beat Roku or Amazon at their own game. They're changing the game entirely. By the time 2026 rolls around, the Apple TV won't just be a box you tolerate. It will be the indispensable center of your home. In my opinion, this is the smartest move Apple has made in years. For too long, the Apple TV felt like it was stuck in second gear. By waiting and adding the A17 Pro, they're skipping 3 generations of progress in one single leap. If you're someone who values a clean interface, privacy, and a device that can actually handle high-end gaming without needing a bulky console, the 2026 model is going to be a game changer. It is rare to see Apple take a step back to rethink a product, but when they do, the results are usually industry-shifting. This delay wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of a massive breakthrough. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon like that.